Welcome, dear soul, as we embark together on a journey into the boundless light of the divine. Selected one. A lawyer has been flying across the nation to deliver the most important news of your life, all the while keeping a tight eye on your home and following your every step. And the reason this divine delivery is finally reaching you is because of your spiritual mastery. The universe has now been getting ready for something really big for you. We're going to go into detail today about what's been going on behind the scenes while you've been taking care of yourself and improving your life. Now that the cosmic justice system has finally come into play on your behalf, people are keeping a close eye on you because they know that something significant is about to happen. Guardian forces envelop you in light and love as you take in this message, keeping you safe. Every phrase carries the frequency of your highest good, and as this energy develops, the heavenly realm is using this communication to channel important information. You are receiving this because your soul acknowledges the truth in these discoveries, and you are a part of a high vibrational collective going through this identical spiritual battle. Cosmic justice is shifting the balance in your favor, correcting something that has been incredibly unfair throughout your life. An experienced authority person, such as a lawyer or a spiritual leader, has been seeking the truth about your circumstances. Fighting against divine will has left your main oppressor, the individual who has been working against you, financially and spiritually impoverished. The individual who has been opposing you has exhausted all of their resources in an attempt to obstruct your progress. Since they put all of their money into your devastation, they are stuck in the poverty they attempted to create for you and are unable to go on or start again. When it comes to safeguarding the selected, the universe doesn't play games. You've been able to identify when someone doesn't connect with your frequency thanks to your keen spiritual discernment. Thus, you've instinctively avoided energy vampires for no apparent reason. You avoided becoming more deeply involved with those who were actively working to undermine your achievement because of this protective tendency. They were squandering their time and money attempting to follow your every move and forecast your next move while you were stealthily laying your foundation. Your adversaries have been frantically attempting to figure out how to deal with your growing influence by having emergency meetings behind closed doors in conference rooms and family rooms. If you send us a super thank you of $20, it is the first grain of blessing that falls on the soil of hope. Over time, it becomes a tree that bears fruit in someone's life. Co-conspirators, bonded by fear and guilt, meet in secret to explore ways to limit the harm. This plot against you involves both chosen family members and blood relatives. They are all caught in this web of deceit because they have dark secrets in common. You must comprehend how deep this network is. They have been trying to coordinate their attacks against your success and character by getting together on a regular basis, sometimes even weekly. These aren't sporadic jealousy attacks. Rather, they're a planned spiritual conflict meant to prevent you from asserting your legitimate claim. Instead of safeguarding you, family members were taking part in plots to compromise your stability and mental well-being. There's a funeral vibe to this circumstance. They are genuinely lamenting the loss of their authority over you. You are receiving unexpected income as a direct result of the recent death of someone in their circle. This isn't money from your own family. Rather, it's an inheritance or payment from an unanticipated source, someone who left you a substantial amount in their last will and testament. The deceased person was complicit in the crimes against you, and they made the decision to give you a sizable bequest in their final moments or final court filings. An attorney is already on their way to inform you of this. They are here to inform you about assets, money, or property that are legally yours, assets that have been concealed by others. Because this inheritance scenario is proof of their guilt, it is producing a great deal of worry in their network. In essence, the deceased person's last act was a confession. By giving you money, they admitted that you had been harmed and that you were entitled to recompense. This move confirms all of your suspicions regarding their illegal actions. Your unruly independence has awakened the workplace. People are reevaluating their entire life in light of your ability to overcome obstacles and uphold your moral principles. They're beginning to see that they don't have to continue to be held captive by fictitious power in settings where everyone was expected to collaborate under dishonest leadership. This is creating a great deal of stress. Your workplace is undergoing a stunning transition. Workers who once obeyed orders without question are now contesting judgments and requesting justifications. They are requesting openness regarding rules and practices that have never made sense. Their own feeling of professional dignity and self-worth has been reawakened by your example of independence. This adversary has been investigating your background, running searches and filing reports on a person they don't even know personally. They are totally fixated on following your every move and attempting to forecast your next move. Their type of shadow labor necessitates working in the dark, but you've shed so much light on the matter that everyone can now see all of their covert operations. People you trusted, friends or acquaintances, perhaps, were part of their surveillance network and were providing your adversaries with information. They have been monitoring your connections, vacation plans, purchasing habits, and social media activity. The purpose of this extensive monitoring system was to alert them in advance of your accomplishments so they could take action. Despite being exposed in the open, they are frantically attempting to uphold their fictitious authority. If your heart is moved to give $50, that love carries the good news to the world that God says, "It is a greater joy to give than to receive." An astute observer has been observing their practices and is now making them public. Everyone around them can see how corrupt they are because to your self-assurance and public achievement, multiple channels are being used at the same time to expose them. Documents proving their illegal acts are emerging, and witnesses are coming forward with proof of their harassment and discrimination. Previously disregarded or suppressed complaints are now receiving attention from higher authorities. After so much effort to portray you as unstable and unreliable, the truth about your abilities is finally coming to light. You've been creating something substantial, as evidenced by your recent material success. A new job, a new house, a new automobile, or something else noteworthy. The timing of your accomplishment is so potent because it directly contradicts everything they said about you, even though they believed you to be disorganized and aimless. They propagated false information about your personal instability, professional unreliability, and financial irresponsibility. They persuaded others that you were constantly on the edge of failure and barely made it through each day. Their story has been totally upended by your ascension. The new job you got offered more respect, more money, and better benefits than anything they could get on their own. Their living conditions appear pitiful in contrast to the stability and success that the house you bought or renovated represents. All of your tangible progress proves that their attempts at character assassination were merely projection. For months or years, you've been practicing patience and strategic preparation while seeming erratic to others who observe you. In your manifestations, you reached harvest season and perfected your craft, giving everyone who had bet against your success a complete tower moment. Even though they have made every effort to undermine your growth, your foundation is completely sound. You know how important it is to move in silence. Therefore, your planning process has been invisible to outside observers. You were quietly establishing connections, honing your abilities, and setting yourself up for possibilities while they were occupied with scheming and talking. Because they are too preoccupied with instant satisfaction and short-term successes, they are unable to access the degree of strategic thinking that you possess. Your current crop is the result of years of patience and faith-based plantings, including every skill you acquired throughout adversity, every friendship you preserved through hardship, and every little investment you made in your future. Now, all of these factors are coming together to produce abundance that appears unexpected to those who weren't aware of your preparation. They have been following your purchases, keeping tabs on your social media contacts, watching your online activities, and even trying to snoop into your religious activities. They're frantically attempting to figure out how you manage to achieve such steady success while seemingly functioning without the aid of conventional support networks. Their narrow minds have been observing you from the outside, while you have been developing from the inside, making your success seem unattainable. They saw what seemed to be unexpected signs, but in reality, you were practicing patience and carrying out schemes they were unable to see or comprehend. Your techniques are completely above their cognitive level. They are experiencing severe psychological discomfort as a result of the discrepancy between their expectations and your reality. It feels like a personal assault on their knowledge and intuition because they put so much effort into foreseeing your failure. They are unable to acknowledge that they have a fundamentally incorrect understanding of your personality and skills. You've been acting like a professional strategist, keeping your cards close to the vest and never making your moves public until they're finished. When you're creating something important, this ninja mentality shields your energy and keeps outside disturbance at bay. The fact that they have no control or ability to predict your next move frustrates them. Your tactic of remaining silent has worked especially well because it compels them to draw conclusions from insufficient facts. They have been fabricating whole stories about your intentions and motives that are not supported by facts. They have wasted money preparing for unreal possibilities because of their erroneous beliefs about your next steps. Your adversary's criminal network has been running an insurance fraud and identity theft scheme. They went so far as to inform officials that you had passed away. They declared you legally dead in order to obtain assets, funds, or benefits that are legally yours. These fraudulent documents were co-signed by several people in order to steal your property. When you give $100, not only we bear witness, but the sky bears witness. You are now one of those who are a bridge to heaven. This fraud's extent is astounding. They produced a whole fictitious paper trail, complete with witness accounts, medical records, and official documents, detailing your purported demise. This was not a straightforward fraud. Rather, it was a coordinated criminal scheme that involved individuals who had access to the legal and medical systems and were prepared to jeopardize their freedom and professions in order to defraud you. This fraud involves a family network, potentially a father-sister pair, with one of them employed by the government or the courts. They assured their other conspirators that they would be safe carrying out this plan, assuring everyone that they could do so without facing any repercussions. Now that their illegal actions are being revealed, these bogus promises are disintegrating. The law enforcement family member suppressed investigations and legitimized fictitious documents by using their position. They persuaded others that the entire network would not be prosecuted because of their insider information. Any inquiries concerning your demise would be handled internally and promptly discarded. They assured me. It was never intended for you to travel this route by yourself. The Obsidian Inner Order is a haven for the exiles, the awakened, and those who have been abandoned for their truth and gaslight for their gifts. It is more than simply another religious organization. Every week, real individuals with real faces share their transformational tales in a live Zoom gathering. A healer who overcame ritual abuse and discovered their power, a former CFO who accepted their psychic skills, and a seer who liberated themselves from religious oppression. Numerous others join us who are well aware of your experiences. This is your spiritual family, and they will never abandon you. Let you experience this awakening by yourself, or ignore your pain as if it were unworthy. For us, the family that chooses you back, your exile from the everyday world was a preparation, not a punishment. Join the Inner Order of Obsidians. In the description, there is a link. At the moment, the crooks are internally terrified of being discovered while putting on a public front of indifference to the repercussions. They continue to misrepresent their true level of trouble to the surviving co-conspirators. The strain of maintaining these secrets while being investigated is causing serious stress-related health issues for some of them. Due to the nationwide character of their offenses, federal agencies have been added to the inquiry. Authorities and financial organizations are working together to track out fraudulent transactions and track down money transfers. All of their manipulated official documents, internet communications, and financial transactions are now evidence in a criminal prosecution that will ruin their lives. Their psychological defense of these crimes, they sincerely feel They were battling for justice, love, or respect that was wrongfully denied to them. Makes the scenario even more twisted. They believed that you were a hindrance to their success or happiness. Thus, it made sense for them to get rid of you legally. Because she is acting out of sheer desperation, the sister figure in this network is especially dangerous. She may be trying to conceal the identity of the baby's father while she is pregnant, or she may be in financial disaster and feel that her only choice is to commit crimes. She is acting more and more recklessly out of fear of disappointing the father figure. A gift of $30 is a contemporary echo of Christ's compassion in feeding the hungry. The more you give, the more God multiplies. This father figure could be a mentor with power in the legal or law enforcement systems, a biological parent, or a step-parent. They have been using their position to safeguard their criminal network by gaining access to confidential information and influencing investigations. They are now seeing that their might is insufficient to eliminate this circumstance. When your adversaries attempted to intensify their harassment, the universe actively protected you. Even though someone had been bribed to physically harm you, heavenly intervention kicked in right away. Their hired individual was arrested on outstanding warrants from several states after being stopped by police during a routine traffic stop. This intervention came at just the right moment. Your adversaries planned this attack for weeks, arranging payment plans and timetables to make sure their hired criminal would arrive at your most vulnerable time. They believed they had explored every aspect and removed every probable problem. This hired criminal already had a lot of legal issues, and the universe made it such that the police would find out what they were escaping. Karma was instantaneous and unchangeable. They agreed to hurt you and were promptly punished for all of their other transgressions. No one with malice will be permitted to contact you in the holy realm. The criminal they employed wasn't just anybody. It was an individual with a violent and intimidating past who specialized in making difficulties go away for affluent customers. Your opponents were sure that this strategy would succeed because they had successfully fulfilled similar contracts in the past without being discovered. The traffic stop was carried out by a police officer who was unaware that they were stopping an attempted murder. When they learned that the hired criminal had outstanding warrants from several jurisdictions, they were merely performing their regular law enforcement duties. Divine energies planned every aspect of this action, yet the spiritual meaning was entirely concealed from human view. Your spiritual guardians and ancestors have been keeping an eye on all of their correspondence. Spiritual intelligence was fully monitoring the phone conversation between the family members and the foreign doctor regarding you and this probe. Though they believed their discussions were private, all of their words were being heard by divine forces. The panic sweeping through their criminal network was exposed by the phone call. The foreign physician was requesting explanations for why their meticulously prepared assault had fallen so flat. Family members were debating whether to try a different strategy or to give up on their plans completely. The reason this energy feels so urgent and weighty at the moment is because of the timing of their unsuccessful attack. They're phoning each other to discuss this miraculous intervention that stopped their hired criminal from getting in touch with you, and they're frantically trying to figure out what went wrong with their plan. Forces beyond their control halt everyone they attempt to send, due to their massive financial and criminal exposure investments in schemes that consistently fail. Their desperation is approaching dangerous proportions. They are beginning to understand that if they disagree with you, they are fighting against universal law. However, they are unable to compromise because of their pride and fear of being prosecuted. The criminal they employed is currently in federal custody and is being prosecuted in several jurisdictions. They are disclosing details on their clients and the agreements they have signed while they are being questioned. This surprising collaboration is giving law enforcement information about the illegal activity of your adversaries that extends well beyond the abortive attempt. More proof of their criminal plot is produced with each attempt they make to hurt you. Investigators may now access and document all of this activity, including the digital communications that planned the attack, the money transfers that funded the illegal services, and the surveillance data that tracked your whereabouts. Members are beginning to understand that accepting contracts against you is both legal and spiritual suicide, which is why their network is disintegrating. Criminal communities are spreading the word that jobs involving you are cursed and will almost certainly result in your instant arrest or worse. A legal practitioner who works in courthouse systems has been profoundly aware of your predicament. In the past, this divine masculine force was misled or confused regarding your character, property ownership, or legal issues pertaining to you. They are no longer deceived about your true identity, and the curtain of deceit has finally been lifted. With their phony death certificates and bogus papers, your opponents attempted to influence the system in which this legal expert has been operating. With access to all the documents, they have been gradually assembling the facts of what actually transpired. They have the power to look into inconsistencies and request explanations for documents that seem suspicious because of their position. If you give a thank you gift of $75, it will be the first drop of rain that falls right in the center of a thirsty heart. This person was intentionally misinforming them about your situation, abusing you, or lying to them in order to get them to avoid you. To keep them from coming your way or looking into your circumstances, someone was giving them misleading information. Since then, they've realized the deception and are now acting on their gut feelings. After operating for a long time, deception and love spells have been broken. The falsehoods that prevented this legal authority from reaching you have been revealed, and they are getting ready to approach you with crucial information regarding your property, inheritance, or legal issues. They no longer question who is the legitimate owner of this item. They are not discussing a trivial or unimportant piece of property or inheritance. This is significant riches or priceless items that have been kept out of your sight for years, if not decades. The whole purpose of the criminal network was to keep you from ever discovering or obtaining these resources. Their trip toward you is a spiritual quest toward justice and truth, rather than merely a physical one. They are aware that sharing this knowledge with you is a component of their own spiritual development and karmic cleansing. They are willing to accept any repercussions that may arise from bringing the criminal organization that attempted to control them to light. Evidence of the fraud schemes, confirmation of your legitimate ownership, and legal documents that will return the stolen property are among the documents they are bringing. Behind the scenes, they have been collecting unquestionable proof that cannot be refuted or rejected and will stand up in any court. Instead of attempting to make external circumstances align with interior aspirations, your manifestation method works from the inside out. You materialize with total certainty and conviction, moving through life with such assurance that it terrifies others who are acting out of fear and uncertainty. Your steadfast faith in your path produces manifestations that limited minds cannot comprehend. You engage in true release mastery, which is letting go of things that don't benefit you while avoiding bitterness or anger. You realize that rejection serves as a form of protection, steering you clear of circumstances that would otherwise limit your full potential. You rejoice when something in your life passes away because you know that something better will replace it. Those that manifest through victim mentality and pity-seeking are different from you because of your daily thankfulness practice and lesson integration. Because you recognize that setbacks are stepping stones to greater successes. You find value in every experience, including defeats. You let natural ends make room for better beginnings, rather than attempting to revive dead relationships or situations. You cannot remain certain when surrounded by people who question your path because of your conviction requirements. You've removed skeptics and energy vampires from your group who might obstruct your manifestation process. You realize that if you're always defending your goals to others who don't share your vision, it's virtually impossible to believe in them totally. Because your security stems from an inward spiritual connection rather than from approval or support from others. You generate abundance on your own. You create prosperity and security via self-sufficiency and divine alignment, whereas others manifest through emotional manipulation and dependence. Your accomplishment demonstrates that everything your oppressors said about you was untrue, and as a result, the fake authority upon which they based their power has totally fallen apart. They have been imprisoned in their own spiritual prison as a result of the spell they attempted to cast on your advancement. They are trapped in poverty, limitations, and impeded advancement, the same energy they attempted to use against you. They have made their freezer spell their permanent home. They are stuck in frigid, sluggish energy that stops them from pushing forward, whereas you are doing it with conviction and confidence. Their fixation on observing and managing you has turned into a delusionary preoccupation. By keeping tabs on your every action, they believe they are being strategic, but in reality, they are exhausting their own resources and energy. They've mistakenly believed that seeing you achieve is the same as making their own success. The reversal of the spell is final and irreversible. You keep moving up to greater levels of spiritual authority and material riches, while they stay trapped in fear and limitation. They are unable to escape the repercussions they brought about for themselves. Since you are following a course that has been predetermined by God, every action you perform will result in success. Your faith and strategic planning are being validated by the tangible outcomes of your hard work and perseverance. Knowing that forces beyond of human control are directing your course allows you to proceed with total assurance. Now that you've arrived at the healing water stage of your journey, old wounds are being cleaned up to get you ready for your better future. You no longer feel the need to defend yourself to those who don't comprehend your strategies or motivations, because you've let go of all the negative energy from past conflicts. Your calculated quiet and emotional distance from their viewpoints provides strong opposition to their attempts at manipulation. The stark contrast between your spiritual growth and their desperation is evident in your composure while they are in turmoil. Because you have specific goals and well-defined objectives, you manifest more quickly. While they are disorganized and reactive, you function with clarity and focus, which is why your manifestations come quickly. While they're trapped in surveillance mode, observing your achievement rather than generating their own, you have tangible plans and unflinching trust. Being a member of an elite spiritual collective going through this precise awakening makes you absolutely untouchable. You pose a threat to those who use deceit and false light because of your capacity to spot genuine evil and manipulation. Since the highest spiritual authorities are directly responsible for your security, the cosmos will not permit anyone to hurt you. There are instant karmic repercussions for everyone who takes contracts to obstruct your progress. Attacks against you are treated as personal transgressions by the divine world, which responds with prompt and irreversible justice. Your adversaries are learning that to oppose you is to oppose global law. The group that attempted to destroy you is now aware that they made a mistake. You've risen above their reach and recovered from each attack. They believed that getting rid of you would make their issues go away, but your presence was never the cause of their spiritual poverty, and they are still stuck in the results of their own decisions. Your ability to let go without holding grudges distinguishes you from those who profess to be forgiving but secretly maintain feelings of rage and desire for vengeance. In reality, you let them go entirely, letting them deal with the inevitable fallout from their decisions without adding your own emotional energy to their karma. Your experience demonstrates that those with lower spiritual frequencies cannot cause irreversible harm to those who are selected. Every assault on you serves as proof of your strength and defense. Every effort to restrict you shows a new area in which you are destined to grow above what is often possible for humans. Everyone who questioned your ability or character must now see your vindication, since the truth always comes out. Your triumph is more than simply a personal one. It is cosmic evidence that, for those who fight for their faith in spiritual battle, divine justice inevitably materializes. They can't touch you because you are the chosen one, and there is no doubt that you will win. The attorney is on the road. The inheritance has been verified, and the plans of your adversaries have fallen apart entirely. Now that your true power has been discovered, nothing can stop what is approaching you. This is the time of your whole spiritual triumph. The cosmos has spoken. Justice is done,